All right, so I want to take a minute and share some thoughts in reference to the announcement of the executive order reference to cryptocurrency and 401ks. And so just putting together some thoughts as to how this is a monumental moment for those that might be positioned in the right place, but yet detrimental for those who are positioned, unfortunately, in the wrong place. So let me explain what I'm referring to when it comes to a just very concerning and alarming position right now. It happens to be the people who have worked hard and been contributing to their 401ks for the last several decades. And so, for those who may not know, the whole 401k concept came about in around 1973, 74 via legislation as the pension system was fading away, or AKA dying. And so ultimately, responsibility was passed from the corporations onto the actual individuals looking to retire. And so now we're at the point where 50 years or so later, that concept is struggling because of the debt markets, as well as just the flawed nature of this current monetary system, where it's all subject to our government borrowing and the Federal Reserve manipulating the elasticity of currency, aka the interest rates. So here we are now. 401ks are a target. And with Donald Trump assigning this executive order that opens up the 401k to alternative investments, it puts those that have worked hard in putting funds into the 401ks in danger, because the average person, as talked about before, has less than 100,000 on average. So there's about 70-80% of the people who have 401ks or 403bs, they only have less than 100,000 anyway. So you can't really retire off that, anytime soon, especially, 10, 20 years from now, because we're going to be in a whole new system. And so literally the funds that are available, anywhere between 8 to 12 trillion of parked funds in bonds and in equities. By Donald Trump passing his executive order, he's opened up the door for private equity firms that are underwater, saturated in debt, and in need of fresh capital to come in. And they're going to spin off all types of new products and services to lure in fresh capital, promising yield that is unsustainable. And so, for those who fall for that trap through their financial advisors, as well as just the lure of earning more for the sake of having it in the future, they're going to fall up on the end of this debt trap that we're going through. And the advantage, unfortunately, yet fortunately, depending on how you look at it, comes in the speculative realm for those who recognize the opportunity. And so, with Donald Trump last week mentioning that there's going to be a boom in the next couple coming months, clearly he's indicating and I guess predicting or foretelling us the idea that cryptos are going to be a part of that. And of course, I've talked about how the World Liberty Financial, which is a Trump crypto empire, is already being positioned heavily right now to where those that are a part of that company and organization are going to do very well. And so those happen to be the Trump family, as well as those are advisors and things of that nature. They're going to do extremely well. And so for the average person that may be watching this, who may not necessarily believe in the crypto space, or if you do, either one, I believe he's foretelling us where this boom is going to come from and where it's going to go through initially. And it's going to be centered around cryptocurrency. And of course, the primary two drivers, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're going to be the primary benefactors of this, because they have become what I would call it a treasury assets for corporations. And so Bitcoin opened the door. Ethereum is now part of that savings mechanism that companies are looking to be a part of. And we know that, whenever the tide rises, all boats rise with it. And so the crypto space in general, which is about a $4 trillion market as of now, will literally receive anywhere between 5 to perhaps $15 trillion, both from the 401k side as things open up for that, as well as whatever event that occurs in the future. There's always an event every 5 to 10 years that is a turning point, because that's when the quantitative easing side of things is needed. And we are perhaps at that point now, because you have commercial real estate failing, you have zombie corporate companies that are underwater, you have the real estate industry that's not doing too well in general, then you have just the fact that the government borrowing is no longer there. So there's going to be a need for some type of event. And that would also create additional trillions. So whether it's 401k trillions that's parked, that's about to move, or the government response to whatever crisis is coming, funds that's coming, crypto market is going to go from 4 trillion to 10 to 15. And that means Bitcoin will be, as of right now, is, 110, 15, 16, double that. That's 220, 300,000 for per coin. Ethereum is right 3,500 right now. Double that. That's 7,000, 8,000, and then all the other coins accordingly will also receive some of those trillions that's coming. So, for those who recognize the movements, the alternatives, the things that could be possibly to your advantage happen to be in the speculative nature. And then on the detrimental side of things, those that have parked cash in the legacy system, bonds, and in stocks, those funds will be siphoned out of the hands of their owners into the private equity firms to help bail them out because they're underwater, as I referenced before. So once again, golden opportunity that Trump keeps talking about will go through crypto. And unfortunately, the loss of retirement funds and everything else from the traditional legacy side of things will go towards the private equity side. So this is what's happening. This is my 2 cents on the matter. Curious to hear what you think. Feel free, drop a comment. If you found value, hit that thumbs up. Looking to do more of these quick, thought experimentation analysis that I offer to the community, just for the sake of letting people know what I believe and what I see coming, because I am on both sides of the fence. I don't believe in the traditional model. I'm more towards a speculative side, but I also realize that in the middle of that, you need to insure all that with gold and silver. So I'm also a monetary sound money enthusiast as well, but yet a speculative innovator as well. So just sharing my 2 cents. Curious what you think. Drop a comment. Look forward to sharing more of these. Peace.